So today, while I was helping you solve systems of equations with graphing, I noticed that some of you were having trouble graphing linear equations. So I wanted to go back and review what we have learned before so that hopefully you'll be up to speed. We want to convert this equation, which is a linear equation in standard form. We want to convert that into a slope-intercept form so that we can graph it. This is what people were struggling with today. So I'm going to do one for you, write it down, and then I'm going to have you try one on your own and bring it to class tomorrow. So converting from a standard form equation means getting y by itself. It means getting y by itself. Isolated is the word we use. Okay, so we're going to get y isolated by getting rid of everything that is there with the y. So that means we have to get rid of the 4x. We have to get rid of the 4x. And we have to get rid of the negative 3. The 4x is being added to the left side of this equation. So the inverse, of adding 4x would be subtracting 4x. So we're going to get rid of it by subtracting it. And the 3, the negative 3, is being multiplied to the y, because negative 3y means negative 3 times y. And the inverse operation for multiplying by negative 3, we're going to divide by negative 3. Okay. So let's get started. First, we're going to subtract the 4x. So when we subtract the 4x, it goes away. It makes 0. And according to the golden rule of equations, what we do to one side of an equal sign, we do to the other side of the equal sign. So over on this right side of the equal sign, we must also subtract 4x. So then when we do the math, we can bring down minus 3y equals, and don't forget that minus sign in front of that 3. It's really easy to forget that. Now, we could do 6 minus 4 being 2 and put 2x, except for one crucial problem. This is a constant. It does not have a variable. This is a variable term. It has a variable. They are not like terms. Not like terms. So we cannot actually subtract the 4x from the 6 because they're not like terms. So we're just going to bring everything down exactly as it is to show the subtraction. We're going to show the subtraction without actually doing it. Okay, we got rid of our 4x. That's done. Check. The next thing we're going to get rid of is this negative 3, and like I said, we have to divide it away because it's being multiplied to the y. And the golden rule, if we do it to the left side of the equal sign, we must also divide it on the right side of the equal sign. That's gone. It's a 1. So we now have 1y, which is what we want. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. Now we have negative 4x divided by negative 3. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 4 divided by 3, that can't be simplified any further. Some of you are tempted to make that a decimal, but we actually are going to be using this equation to graph. And so we actually need this to be our slope, and we need to have a rise and a run. If we convert this to a decimal, we no longer have a rise and a run. And so it will be more difficult to graph. So please keep it a fraction, 4 over 3, or 4 thirds. And now we've done it. This equation is in slope-intercept form, and slope-intercept form is useful for graphing. Our slope, which we call m, is the coefficient of x, always the coefficient of x, which is 4/3. And our y-intercept, our starting point for graphing, which we call b, is the constant. A constant is the number that doesn't have a variable. The constant in this case is -2. So now we're going to be able to take our slope and our y-intercept and use that to graph this line, which we're going to practice this a lot tomorrow. We practiced it a lot today as well. So now I want you to try. Here's the equation. 6x minus 4y equals 16. 6x minus 4y equals 16. Please try to get this into slope-intercept form just like I did for you with this equation. Follow what I did. Try to do the same thing over here. See if you can't get this in slope-intercept form correctly. And I'll let you in on the right answer tomorrow so we can see if you did it correctly. Bring your tablets tomorrow to class. See you tomorrow.